Cincinnati Soccer Talk. Powered by FC Cincinnati supporters. Get in touch, soccer fans. Email us at cincysoccertalk@spmt.tv. Now, here is your host, Nick Suberling.
Hey, what's happening, Cincinnati Soccer Talkers? Happy Sunday evening to you all. Glad you're with us live on Facebook and on YouTube. We've got an action-packed show for you this week. We're going to be joined by Andrew Wiedeman and Jimmy McLaughlin from FC Cincinnati here in just a moment. We want to hear from you. Get in touch with us on the King's Hammer hotline, 513-399-KICK. You can also hit us up on Twitter as well, at Cincy Soccer Talk. Our email address is feedback@cincinnati-soccertalk.com. We want to hear from you tonight, FC Cincinnati fans. We're going to have, as I said, Andrew and Jimmy joining us here very shortly, but I'm glad to have back the one and only Brian Weigel to the show. Brian, how have you been, buddy?
Good, and I pledge to you that I will be the only ginger in the city of Cincinnati that will not disappoint today.
Wow. Those are some big words there. I guess that is a reference to a certain quarterback of the Bengals.
Yeah, you know, I really only care about FC Cincinnati now, and that's where I choose to spend my money, but perhaps.
He's coming out swinging right away. Glad to have Brian back. Also glad to have back the lone wolf, the wolf man, Bill Wolf. Bill, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. And I am not going to try to slam the other sports in town. I'll just happily be a FC Cincinnati fan, and the rest of them can do what they're going to do.
It's really not that hard. I mean, look at both. Yeah, we'll leave it there.
Okay, then. All right. Well, as we said, I'm pleased to have on the King's Hammer hotline the one and onlys. I don't even know if you can phrase it that way, but glad to have Andrew Wiedeman and Jimmy McLaughlin joining us now here on Cincinnati Soccer Talk. Gentlemen, how are you doing?
Hey, very good. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, doing very well. Excited to be here.
This is a first in Cincinnati Soccer Talk history where we've had two guests over the phone at the same time. So as we were kind of joking off the air, Andrew being the first ever player to join us on the show, now he is another first to add to his cabinet of accolades when it comes to Cincinnati Soccer Talk. So I got to start with this question, Andrew. I got this from Craig from the Queen City Mafia. He wants to know, how are your arches?
My arches are good, man. My arches are good. I hope he's listening. I still have no idea what that all means or where that came from, but those guys started asking me about my arches a while ago, saying I had flat feet. I don't know if it's an insult of sorts, but my arches are good, man. They're feeling great, very springy.
You know, Weeda, all you need to say, yeah, you might have flat feet, but they got round bellies, so it's okay.
I'll be there soon enough, too.
Well, you know, guys, we wanted to keep this a little bit more light for this evening, a little bit of fun. So we're just going to ask you a lot of rapid fire questions, a little bit more, you know, kind of learn a little bit more about you guys. I mean, you've been here for 2 years, but we just wanted to have a little bit of fun. So you guys can both answer both these questions if you like, but I'll start here with Jimmy, and Weeda, you can follow up as what's your favorite club? You know, it could be NFL, college, it could be baseball, you know, soccer related. What's your favorite club that's not FC Cincinnati?
Favorite club that's not FC Cincinnati. And the chess club I was in high school, that doesn't count?
Hey, man, I was at game club, so it's okay.
I would say FC Barcelona. I mean, that's my favorite sports team and a team that I follow really closely, and I think that's going to be the one that takes the cake for me. I mean, I know that sounds like a cliche soccer answer, picking one of the best teams in the world that everybody knows, but it's a team that I follow closely and enjoy watching.
I'll steer away from soccer. I'll go with the 49ers, although it is tough to be a fan lately, as I'm sure it is for Brian and the Bengals. So yeah, they had a rough go today, but still pulling out for the Niners.
So Andrew clearly doesn't understand the 49ers and their history with our city. So we'll just leave it.
Yeah, I do, man. But that's where I'm from, so I got to rep with my roots, right?
I got to ask you this, Jimmy. Are you upset that Neymar left Barcelona?
You see, I am, but I think Barcelona needs to go through a bit of a rejuvenating period. I think they need to make some changes in the leadership roles in the club with the president, and people aren't happy. I mean, Messi has not resigned his deal yet, and so there's some things going on in the club that I think the players aren't happy about. So, I mean, I understand Neymar's move, and it's not what I wanted to happen, but yeah, I mean, I get it, and there's some things that need to change for the club to continue staying at the top.
I'm kind of trailing on, asking about your favorite clubs. Obviously, right now, college football season in full swing. Do either one of you particularly have a favorite college football team that you followed?
I mean, mine was Cal, just because that's where I went. I mean, obviously, they've been pretty terrible as well. So, I mean, there's no one that I pay close attention to. Yeah, I don't know. Does Colgate even have a team, Jimmy?
Well, I mean, we're D1 AA football, but we got some studs, some NFL players on the squad. I mean, I would have to say Penn State, but I really don't follow it too closely. That's just kind of the big school that everybody follows in Pennsylvania and whatnot. But me and Wiedeman actually went to an Ohio State game last year, so maybe we could jump on that bandwagon. But I heard they lost the other night too. So.
Well, my dad was an alma mater for Penn State, so that's a good answer. So we'll change away from sports a little bit here and go a little bit whimsical. So I'll ask a two-part question to both of you here. Marvel or DC? And what superhero would you want to be and why?
See, I don't think I really know the difference. Marvel's like Spider-Man, is that right?
That is right.
Okay. So where's Batman out on this list? Is he Marvel?
I think he's DC, isn't he?
Yeah. Jimmy does not go to Comic-Con, I can tell you.
No. But my favorite superhero would have to be Iron Man, just strictly because he doesn't actually have any superpowers, and he's just an incredible businessman and genius who builds his own superpowers. And at the end of the day, he's just a normal dude who finds a way to become a superhero through his intelligence. So that's the person I would pick. I relate a lot to Tony Stark, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to go complete opposite and go with Superman just because he is the consummate superhero and he's pretty much indestructible. And then
Marvel,
one DC or Marvel, whichever camp he fits into.
You've never heard of that thing called kryptonite, dude?
Yeah, kryptonite. That's the only thing, though, man. You got to go to some planet that's super far away. Nobody's doing that, man. Nobody's doing that.
I love it. Well, keep going with the whimsicals. Bill said, each of you guys, if you could pick an actor to play you in a biopic or whatever, movie about your life, who would it be? I mean, I'm sure Wiedeman needs to do somebody with that 6-pack abs, and Jimmy has to do that blonde mop. Who'd you pick?
Can I just answer for both of us?
That must probably be more fun if you actually named who each other did.
If it were Jimmy's, it would be Macaulay Culkin. If it were me, it'd be Ryan Gosling, I think. Right, Jimmy?
That sounds about right, yeah.
Going off that Cincy Shirts Inception shirt.
Oh, yes. So there's a little bit of Leo in there.
Dude, that's who I would pick for me. I would be a DiCaprio guy. I mean, I think he would probably be the easy favorite to take my role. But I mean, I would have to offer some auditions. I'm not going to give that away too easily. And maybe Bradley Cooper could be in the running. I mean, there's a few people who could swoop in there, but I'd say DiCaprio is probably the favorite at this point.
Ellen DeGeneres maybe too.
Oh,
wow!
The real,
right, Jimmy, you got to strike back. Who's going to play Weeds, Jimmy?
Come on, dude.
Yeah, the real question I have. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just thinking. I mean, he seems like a Nicolas Cage kind of guy. That kind of sounds about right.
Oh, man, Jeff's gonna love that one, huh? You're hoping he's listening.
The biopics have to have a strong female lead as well, and Wiedeman. I was thinking, who would you have to pick for Kaylee?
Oh boy,
that's a tough one, man. Here, give me one sec. Hey, Kaylee, if you had to have someone play you in a movie, who would it be? A famous actress.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
She said Margot Robbie.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
She knows that that's like my favorite actress.
Very good.
How about you, Jimmy?
I'm not even gonna say what her last answer was.
So I'm picking a woman to be on my side. That's the question?
Sure.
Is
Yeah.
that correct? I would say it would be Jessica Alba, circa Good Luck Chuck. Her performance in that movie is the exact type of girl I'm looking for. So that's kind of what that's my benchmark and what I'm really looking for in my supporting cast.
So all the ladies that are listening to this podcast, take note of that. Kidding, of course. I got to ask, because you guys, you do some crazy things on the field. We've seen Jimmy dance like a crazy man. We've seen Andrew take his shirt off like a crazy man, although the goal didn't stand. It was a good goal, even though we know how that all went down.
Small detail.
Yeah, small. What's the craziest thing either one of you have done off the field?
Can I answer for Wida? Can we answer
No,
for each
you
other?
can't, man. This is a
that
family
something we
show,
can
man. This is a family show. Go, answer
No,
for
you
me.
go
I'm
first.
curious to hear this.
No. You go first, Wida. I'm not going to put you on the spot. You go first.
The craziest thing I've done off the field.
East
I guess
Skyline, right?
One of the craziest / stupid. Yeah. Probably the stupidest thing, and I don't think too many people probably knows, is I have a 3 branded into my arm because that was my number in college, and so some of my teammates and I were broing out one day, and it seemed like a good idea to, really commemorate our brotherhood and put our soccer numbers from college in our arms. And I was the first one to go, so nobody else went after I screamed like a little girl. So that'd probably be up there in the running, I would say. Just a little fun
Yeah, I had a
fact.
couple other ones I was going to say instead of that, but that is a good one. Oh, geez. I don't really know if I have that many stupid things in my life. I'm trying to really think hard here.
Your parents listen to
Maybe
the show,
dyeing my
so you
hair,
better be careful.
dyeing my hair platinum blonde last year probably wasn't one of my best moves. I think a stupid thing was this is. I don't know if this is really crazy or anything, but I played the cello in high school, and I played it like
You rebel.
I played the cello since 2nd grade, and I think one of the stupidest things was how embarrassed I was about it, and I didn't tell any of my friends until I was a senior in high school, and finally was like somewhat comfortable with myself and could admit to them that I was actually in the orchestra, and not just lying to them, telling them I'm going to speak to a teacher in my free period while I'm actually crushing some F sharps in the orchestra room. So, I don't know. That's what I got for you.
It's not bad. I like that one.
So you're not going to spill the dirt on Wiedeman then. So we got to go to the next question. I take it.
Yeah, we need some
All
good
right.
team chemistry for Tuesday, so I don't want to ruin that right now.
All right. Fair enough. How about your favorite Cincinnati restaurant? And for Wiedeman, you have to name one that doesn't serve kale.
Doesn't serve kale. Okay, I got you. Probably Eli's for me. And the one down on Columbia Parkway or on the river. Not the one in OTR. Big fan of the ribs. So yeah, I'd go with that. And I don't think they have kale. I don't think they have any salads or anything green on the menu. So that's got to fit all your parameters, right?
Yep.
For me, it's Soto. It's the best Italian restaurant in the city and maybe in the world. It's the best pasta, and it's the best place to get you fueled for a game. I mean, I'm always eating there the night before to get me prepared. So everybody listening, go to Soto. It's the place to go.
Oh, shameless. I love it.
And Jimmy just got a discount for the next time you go.
No, Jimmy gets his pregame meals there free. That's a plug. I love it.
I got one pregame meal there for free, so I'm working to parlay that into a couple more.
They're listening right now, man. That's got to be number 2.
Well, I have to give you guys credit. You went outside the box with some places, especially we did there to describe where the location of the actual restaurant is. So that's awesome. You guys have been identifying with the city a little bit. Now, kind of going. You guys had a little bit of off time recently. What's your favorite places to go in the city on your off day?
Cool. Jimmy, take it away. Give me some time to think of something here.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I
Tough
mean,
one.
Mitch liked the dog
kind
park.
of go all over the place. I mean, I think ours are probably a little more fun than Mitch in the dog park, if I'm being honest.
You know, it's
I'd say
game
we
day
kinda
when you see a Mitch
float-
Hildebrand Instagram of the dog park.
Yeah, he's awake before everybody. He wants everyone to know also.
Oh, jeez.
We spent a lot of time in the OTR area, though. I'd say that's probably where we spend the majority of our off days, kind of floating from place to place. We go to brunch at this place called Nations a good bit with everybody, with a good group of the guys, and I don't know, kind of just go with the flow from there. We've taken the city bikes out a few times and gone through the city. Me and Weeda went on a little trip across the bridge to Kentucky and all over the place, but yeah, I don't think I really have a specific spot that I like. Just I like being with my friends and the guys on the team when we get some time off.
Yeah, that's Jimmy's probably spot on. Red bikes, all that stuff. I think my dark horse though would be the Kroger in Oakley. You guys ever been there?
Yes.
You said it when you were on, or wasn't that Kadeem? I think it was Kadeem.
Kadeem Dankers.
Yes.
Dude, this
That
place
was
is
his.
incredible, man. It's got everything you need. I literally go there every day. And it's sometimes I don't even need groceries. I just go to walk around and just cruise the aisles and see what's going on. See if they got
Dude, have you
new,
heard about
hot food items.
You and
Have you
Kadeem
heard
hang
about
out
the
at
watermelon
Kroger's?
thing at Kroger?
The what?
The watermelon thing at Kroger? We were talking about this the other day at practice.
The watermelon.
Supposedly, if you put a watermelon in your grocery cart, it means like you're single, and like that's like a great place to like go. This is like supposedly a real thing.
This is very important for you to be aware of,
the
by
other
the
room.
way.
She's gonna wonder why whenever we go in there, I always put a watermelon first thing in the cart.
Exactly.
Come on, bro.
That's crazy. Wow. Interesting.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, my-
Dying.
You
Jimmy's gonna get free soda and free watermelon after this.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
This guy's a plug machine. I love it.
well, speaking of plugs, you kind of mentioned it earlier about your pregame meal. What is the pregame ritual kind of like for both of you?
Guido, you want to go first?
Kale.
Yeah, I mean, it's very boring. Not much. I mean, I pretty much eat the same thing for pregame meal and then the night before. And then I guess on the road, Jimmy and I room together. So it's a lot of just sitting around. I always shower first. I always take the bed that's closest to the door in case of an intrusion, because I'm more likely to be able to fend off a robber or an assailant or something of that sort.
So you have to protect Jimmy.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, exactly. You know.
Yeah, I mean we know each other's role, and I can be there behind, kind of cheering him on and everything, and escaping out the window while he's taking most of the hits. But
So you're saying Jimmy is the Robin to your Batman?
Yeah, I go with that.
whoa!
Suddenly we know all
we're
about
jumping to
comics.
Conclusions here.
Yeah, I don't know. Any other pregame rituals, Jimmy?
I don't know, not really. I'm trying to think. We pass together in warm-ups. I mean, it's honestly, like, game days are pretty boring. It's just I'd take a pretty long nap. I mean, Weeda has trouble sleeping because he gets nightmares, so he tries to stay awake. But yeah, besides that, no, not much really goes on.
I told you about why I get those
Sleepy
nightmares, and I told you in confidence. So let's keep that between us, all right, man?
It sounds like, and maybe I'm making another assumption here, you guys are superstitious. Is there somebody on the team that is extremely superstitious that you think they're crazy about it?
I think Weeda's probably one of the top 5, honestly. He's going to say it's
superstitious?
OCD more than anything. I mean, OCD, superstitious, like, they're pretty similar. I mean, you do all the same stuff. I just learned a new one about you the other night, actually. That whenever we huddle up in the circle right before the game, and you always go down and tie your right shoe. I learned that actually I learned that from a fan actually the other night. So that's another thing to add to the list on top of your.
I mean, aren't all athletes superstitious? Not superstitious.
Yeah, no.
Creatures of habit, man. So you do everything.
I mean, I got some stuff too. Yeah.
All right, so spill the beans, Jimmy. What else do you do?
Oh my god.
I mean, nothing crazy. Like, I just do the same exact, like, stretches. Like, I tie my left shoe first. I mean, nothing if I like play well, I'll wear like the same tie that I wore last game or something, like just little things like that.
But you've been wearing the same tie every game this season.
He only owns one tie.
Oh my goodness, you guys are killing me right now.
There was a request, by the way, on Facebook for
Yeah.
Jimmy to play the national anthem on his cello at one of the next games.
So now we're talking. Someone talk to someone in the front office and let's make that happen.
All right.
Oh my God. So transitioning into travel in the glorious cities of the United Soccer League, what is your most favorite and your least favorite road trips in the USL?
Geez, least favorite I think's probably got to be actually it might be Harrisburg or Rochester, one of those two.
I think Rochester's got to be the easy answer.
Yeah, I mean Harrisburg though, like you have family and stuff that comes there, but like last year we went to Harrisburg and it was like we were supposed to stay the night and we like checked into we were there for a week before. I don't know where we were playing at before we went to Harrisburg, but so we like stayed somewhere outside the city at this other complex, and then the day of we went and checked into the hotel, and like we were just like not a fan of the hotel, so we ended up driving back through the night right after the game rather than staying there. So that one left a mark on me for sure.
What's your favorite place?
Jimmy, you have a favorite?
I mean, I'm trying to think back.
I mean, I'm always partial to Toronto.
Yeah, we didn't really get to do much in Toronto last time.
Well, I didn't grab my storage unit, so I stayed up there another day, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I mean, like the Florida trip was cool this year just because we were down there for a bit, and we got to go to Miami twice. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, actually, you know what, Florida. I think the Florida trip. We were down there for a week this time, and Jimmy and I would go and we actually ended up played Big Buck Hunter at the arcade at this movie theater. Probably every day we were down there. But we actually they wouldn't let us in without buying movie tickets. So we ended up buying a random movie ticket for like 2 days down the road. Yeah. And then we went back on the third day to play again. And every day we're like, yeah, we have a ticket. And then on the third day we went and we returned our ticket and then still crushed some Big Buck Hunter. So if you ever go to the Big Buck Hunter in Tampa, I think it's a Cinemark, we hold all the high scores.
Who won that one though? Who really won that?
I think
Rita,
probably.
You want to tell the truth here?
I was just gonna say, I think probably Jimmy. He really came into his own at the end.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, Wida kind of mentored me through. He spent a lot of time in the Big Buck Hunter arena in the past, and he taught me a few things, and it just really clicked with me, and I took off. And I credit a lot of my success to him and his teaching. So I'd say it's a mutual title at the top for both of us.
Well, I want to jump in here with another video game question. Who on the team is the best FIFA player, and do either of you play FIFA?
The last time I own 2012 FIFA, I only play with FC Dallas, and I always sub in Andrew Wiedeman up top, and I only pass him the ball, and I only shoot with him. That's about the extent of my FIFA playing, so I don't think I'm qualified to answer this question, so I will defer to Jimmy.
I'm a big FIFA player. I play a significant amount of FIFA. I mean, I'm a Division I player who consistently wins the league, so I like to think that I'm in the upper echelon of players here in FIFA. Tyler Polak's a pretty good player. Pat McMahon's a pretty good player. Harrison Delbridge and Aaron Walker are both good players. So there's a plethora of talent really on this team, but I mean, it's going to be tough for one of them to take the title away from me, I think.
Well, back to road trips. Currently, right now, if you look at the standings, you're lined up in the playoffs to play your first game against Louisville away. Do you think that would be a good thing or a bad thing? Or are you looking forward to maybe playing them again in the playoffs?
I mean, I think it's just a thing. I don't really think it's a good or a bad. At this point, we're going to have to go on the road and get a bunch of results. And if we have to go on the road in the playoffs, I don't think it really matters who we play. I mean, obviously, Louisville's been really good this year. They're in first place. I think they have 2 games in hand, but we've shown that we can, match up with them. We've beat them twice this year. We've tied them. But at the end of the day, like what we want to do is we want to lift the USL Cup, and to do that, we're gonna have to beat the best. So it doesn't matter if we have to do it in the first round or we have to do it in the final or every round along the way. I think we'll be ready to do that when the time comes.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the playoffs, there's no hiding. If you want to win, the objective is to win the whole thing. I mean, you don't get any awards for winning one game and then losing the next one. So to achieve what we want to, you're going to have to beat the best teams no matter what. So we have to take care of business here first in the regular season, and we can't think too far ahead. And we got to put ourselves in a position to be in the playoffs. But then after that, I mean, it doesn't matter who we line up against. We're going to just be ready for the task at hand.
Well, kind of going back to that, what has been the most challenging part about this season? Everybody out there will say the amount of games you play, the U.S. Open Cup, the MLS teams, coaching changes. What has been the most difficult part for each of you in this entire year so far?
I thought you said we were having fun tonight, man. Asking whimsical questions.
I'm a ginger. I'm a ginger, so I disappoint.
Huh? Oh, okay, fair enough. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there's any one thing that you can necessarily pinpoint per se. It's been a super hard challenge. Obviously, when there's a coaching change, that presents difficulties. I think any team that's ever undergone a coaching change always has that. You have to learn the new style, learn what's wanted from you, and then implement a new plan and tactics and all that. And that stuff kind of takes time. I think the Open Cup run, as great as it was, also, kind of provided some extra fixture congestion that maybe hurt our standing in the league because we did end up having so many more games and having to rotate and whatnot. It's a lot of times in those competitions, it's like you either want to go and win the whole thing or you want to go out in the first round, because it's kind of like Jimmy alluded to with the playoffs. Like, you don't get any awards for winning a few, So, I mean, I don't think anyone, I think it'd be, naive to not think that we'd probably be in a little better standing in the league right now had we not had all those extra games from the Open Cup schedule. So, I mean, that was as great as it was. It was kind of a double-edged sword for sure. So, I mean, that's definitely one to point to.
Yeah, I mean, I'd definitely echo exactly what Weed is saying. I mean, there's so many different variables that have gone into this season, and I mean, with the Open Cup and having all these games and just the emotional roller coaster kind of that we've been through this year, with the highs of the Columbus Crew game and the Chicago Fire game and the Miami game. I mean, these are that's about as high as you can possibly get in U.S. soccer. I mean, winning a penalty kick shootout at home in front of 35,000 people in upset against an MLS team that you're supposed to lose to, who's top of the league, and then going and losing to New York and Louisville in poor fashion. I mean, and it's just been kind of managing those moments and trying to get back to that middle ground in a sense. I mean, you don't want to have so much variance between your games, and we need to find a way to be more consistent and put out a solid performance more often, rather than just a really, really good performance sometimes and then one that's not up to par. So I think for me, it's kind of been that, and that's been the toughest part, just consistently putting a solid performance together and managing the highs and the lows of the season.
We know.
Yeah, I think it's important to know, just like real quick, because that's not like, us trying to make excuses for anything. I think, we know that, everyone at the club, like we should be in better standing than where we are, regardless of all those things, with the talent and the team we have. So it's like everyone has played a role in us not being where we are. Whether and so but the good thing is we still do have time to kind of right that ship and get some points here. And that's the beauty of these American sports, is once you get into the playoffs, it's a whole new format and anything can happen at that point.
Yeah, and exactly what we were saying. I mean, we can go in the playoffs and win this whole thing, and I mean, we look amazing, and everything changes and the whole narrative it shifts. So we'll see how it all pans out. I mean, it's too early to decide how this whole year went and everything, and we're going to do whatever it takes to give ourselves the best opportunity to win a trophy.
Now, we know you've got friends in other cities that play professional soccer, and I'm sure you've had conversations about what it's like to play soccer here in Cincinnati. What do you tell those friends about the city and the club, and do they ask, hey, should I come here kind of deal? What does that conversation even come up?
Well, you can take that one, Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean, clearly we've created a lot of buzz here, and there's a lot of talk about Cincinnati in the U.S. soccer landscape. I think people are pretty envious of us and want to be in our position. This is a hot place to be, and a team that's going up with MLS aspirations, and that's getting a ton of attention. So yeah, I mean, we get a lot of questions from at least I do personally from players that I know and guys that I'm friends with, asking about the situation, and I mean, I tell them all about it and tell them good things and tell them that this is a top place to play in the United States. Yeah, I think people are really high on it here, and I think of course, that attracts very good players throughout the country, and it's a great place to be, and it's a top spot for anybody to play in the U.S.
You guys are so calm now. I feel like we've brought you down a little bit, but so it's maybe being a little bit more on the positive side. I mean, something that's very unique about Cincinnati, I feel like right now, is that the two of you have become sort of the faces of the club. I mean, people identify you, highly as important, like members of this team, and just, your personalities are such that they like to see you out in the crowd, and they solo you out and come to see you. You've kind of become, icons of this organization. So can you maybe talk a little bit about how that's been very different from you as far as your career in soccer up to this point?
Jimmy and I were actually talking about it the other day. I mean, it is cool. Out of all the places I've been, and I mean, obviously it helps when you have a bigger role with the team, but like the amount of awareness that people have of just the team and how involved and invested they are with it here in the city is just incredible. It's, probably better than any place that I've played. And so you feel like you're a part of something huge here. And it is extremely, not only humbling, but it's gratifying. So it is cool, man. Like, you're walking down the street and you see people that are wearing FC Cincinnati gear, and you'll get recognized from time to time. I was checking out at Kroger the other day, and some guy came up to me and stopped me at the checkout, and I was buying kale, and he goes, good luck tomorrow night. So it's just kind of cool to kind of have that notoriety. And it definitely makes you feel like you're doing something important here, which I don't think can be said of all the markets. And that's not just USL. That's NASL. That's Major League Soccer. That's just all the professional markets in the States. I mean, we're really doing something special here, and there is something special happening.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We were just having a conversation about this yesterday, and it's extremely flattering, and it's something that you dream about. I mean, this is the situation you want to be in when you're a little kid and you see these guys that you look up to, and I mean, now we're kind of in that position and have that role in some sense for kids out there, and that's something that's truly amazing and truly special, and exactly what we were saying. I think it's more than just soccer here. I mean, it's not like they're just supporting the team. I mean, it's like they're supporting us, and I think it's a true community feel here, and it's a city that's working together to try to achieve a goal all as one. I mean, we all want the same thing. Everybody wants this team to go to MLS and be successful, and it's really, really cool to be a part of, and something that means a lot. And I mean, when I was in Philadelphia, I remember having autograph signings in the beginning of the year, and I mean, of course, no one knew who I was, or because I had very little role in the team, and they would only recognize whatever the superstars in the squad. And I think the beauty is here that the fans really do know everybody on the team, and it's a family environment, and the fans support the entire club as a whole, and it's something special. And I don't think there's a much better situation anywhere else, maybe in the world.
Well, we were just at a fan event on Friday. The two of you were both there as well. And, one thing I noted at that time was that you guys really made a true effort to shake everybody's hand and talked to everybody. I mean, it wasn't like, hey, I'm comfortable with a couple people, I'm going to talk to them. You guys actually like worked the room and went around and made sure you met everybody and talked to everybody. I think that's really, really, nice of you guys to make that effort for the fans. So the great job and much appreciated by everybody. On another note, just out of kind of curiosity, but how's the wedding planning going? That's obviously for Andrew, not for Jimmy.
Yeah, how's it going, Jimmy? You have something to tell us about? No, it's going well. I mean, to be fair, my fiance's had to handle the majority of it, just because I obviously can't travel as much with the job and whatnot. So she has been going back to Southern California quite a bit and handling all that stuff. So she's actually going back in a couple weeks. She's doing like a secondary food tasting. She's doing cake tasting. So she gets to do all the fun stuff. But yeah, I think the majority of it is it's pretty much finished up at this point. So I think it's going well. Yeah.
That's a good answer.
I'm still engaged, so I guess it's going well enough.
That's a good point. Yeah, you're still engaged. That's the best part about that that you're still engaged. We know you got a big game coming up on Tuesday. This is a big matchup. Actually, if you think about it, every game from here on out is a big one for you guys. What kind of notes can you give us on Harrisburg? We know you played them here in Cincinnati a few weeks ago. You had a clean sheet that night. You played well against them. What kind of different things do they pose for you now that they'll be playing at home?
Jimmy, you want to take it? It's your former club, man.
Yeah, I'll take it. I mean, they're a good team. I mean, I think Harrisburg's a team that has a ton of history in the USL. They're one of the original teams and have had a ton of success in the league. And it's a team that will never say die. I mean, you look at their game against St. Louis most recently, and they scored in the 90th minute to win the game. And I mean, they're gonna be tough to play against. They're gonna work extremely hard. They're gonna be very organized and disciplined, and they're not going to make it easy for us. And especially being on their field, which is going to be a little bit smaller than what Nippert is. It's going to be tougher to break them down and impose different disadvantages to our style and things we're going to have to adapt to. So we'll be ready to go, and we have, of course, a strong game plan to counter exactly what they're doing that I can't totally share with you right now. But we're excited and we're ready for the challenge.
The game plan Jimmy's referring to is score more goals than them.
Dude, you can't give that one away, man.
Now that they know.
Yeah, very good. Well, guys, I do appreciate your time. And I do want to share something a little bit from more of a personal level here is you guys have done so much for our club here in Cincinnati, and you've brought so many people on. And there's a name, I don't know if you guys have gone to a Cyclones game. There's the name of Don Biggs. He's a player that was kind of a worker. He just came every game and just really worked hard for the club. And I kind of look at you two guys about, you are the two guys who I'm going to tell my son, I'm 30 years old. I have a 2-year-old son. I'm going to tell my son, Brian, that, these are the two guys that built FC Cincinnati to what it is now and what it will be in the future when he's taking his kids to games. And I really want to thank you guys for everything you've done here in FC Cincinnati. I don't know if you'll be here next year. I don't know what your plans are ahead. I wish the absolute best for the two of you and your future. But I'm sure I say this for a lot of the fans out there. I just want to thank you just big time for everything that you've done representing our city in the orange and blue. So thank you very much for doing everything that you've done for our club.
All right, that's honestly so nice of you. I mean, those type of sentiments, I think I speak for both Jimmy and I when I say those mean the world to us, man. That's very, very humbling and so good to hear.
Yeah.
And also, I'm going to need a recording of that, though, because I'm going to take that into my contract negotiation at the end of the year so I can make sure everything all right.
Absolutely.
Seriously, thank you so much for that. And it truly means the world to us. And I mean, honestly, the pleasure's been ours. This has been an incredible 2 years for both of us and something that we're going to bring with us for the rest of our lives. And I mean, we hope to continue it as well. So this has been something really special, and thank you so much for the kind words.
Well, we thank you for joining us here on Cincinnati Soccer Talk. Having you both on has been an absolute blast. Jimmy, McLaughlin, Andrew Wiedeman, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and best of luck. Go get them on Tuesday night against Harrisburg.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, guys. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys.
That's the stars of FC Cincinnati, Jimmy McLaughlin and Andrew Wiedeman, joining us here on the King's Hammer Hotline. That was a lot of fun. Great questions. Job well done. A big thanks to Brian for getting that organized as well. Brian, kudos to you, my friend.
No, thanks to the club and the guys. They're great. I think these two guys, as I said earlier, mean a lot. And they've, they were out at, I think, high school games today, just kind of going out and meeting people that they've met throughout the city. So those guys they're incredible. And just thank you very much for their time.
We've got phone lines open, 513-399-KICK. The King's Hammer Hotline is waiting for you. Yosef taking calls tonight. Give Yosef a ring. We want to hear from you. Let's talk about the playoff race, shall we, gentlemen? We kind of previewed it a little bit there with those two guys, with Harrisburg knocking off St. Louis recently. That was a good result. We've seen some other good results around the league. Bri, where do things stand?
Absolutely. Well, we've had some pretty decent results shake out for FC Cincinnati over the past week. We've been off. Of course, since the last weekend, we had this Saturday off. Of course, we still sit in 8th place, 26 games played, 35 points. We are a game above Bethlehem Steel, who's only played 25. Fortunately, they actually had a rain out, or hurricane out, I guess you could say, versus Tampa Bay Rowdies. Hurricane Irma came through Tampa Bay, but of course, Bethlehem was supposed to host Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay wanted to take care of all their stuff, which I don't blame them. So they didn't play. Of course, Harrisburg pulled out a big help for FC Cincinnati, defeated St. Louis FC in the 93rd minute on Saturday. That broke their streak of 5 consecutive losses that I believe FC Cincinnati started them out on. So it will be interesting to see how they're going into this Tuesday night's match. Louisville beat Pittsburgh. Richmond pulled a shocker out on Orlando. So if FC Cincinnati can win this Tuesday, they will jump above Orlando to get into, I believe, a tie for 6th place with New York. It's done really well this week versus Harrisburg on Tuesday, and New York Red Bulls 2 on Saturday. Is going to be huge in terms of solidifying our place. I really believe that if we can pull out two wins, 6 points versus both these, we are absolutely in the playoffs. I think it'd be shocking if any of the teams below us could pull out those 6 points from their last remaining games. And of course, anything could happen, but I think it would go a long way if we can pull out two 3-point results for FC Cincinnati in the upcoming, calendar week.
Well, that was a big result too, because correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I don't think Orlando, they hadn't lost for forever. They kept drawing games left and right, and that's a good result for FC Cincinnati.
I think back since like June or maybe even May. I mean, it's been absolutely quite a while that these guys have lost a match, and they're a team that can throw out MLS players. So let's not let's be real here. It's tough for them. I think it's okay. I see it here. Is the last loss was June 20th. They're gonna run up to it when in terms of Orlando choosing to pull guys up to the main squad or rest guys going into their playoff stretch. So I think that's the team that you might be able to see could drop a couple more points throughout the remainder of the year. So we'll see what happens, but absolutely a big loss there for them.
We got this question on YouTube from Steven. He wants to know, is it better to play Louisville on the road for a shorter road trip, or would you rather be higher up the stands and avoid Louisville altogether, at least until later in the playoffs potentially?
Bill?
I'd rather be higher up in the stands, personally. I think a lot of people talk about they'd like to just go down right from the start and take Louisville on. For me personally, I'd like to see us in, I don't know if I can dream of the 5th spot, but at least the 6th or the 7th spot. Honestly, that would kind of put us to where we'd be on the opposite side from Louisville till the very end, if they make it that far. So,
well, it's kind of what you said there, Bill, is if we can finish 5th or 6th, it might give us a chance to host a match later on in the playoffs. So that would be wonderful for FC Cincinnati. but we're gonna have to beat Louisville anyway, and I want to beat their butts so bad. I would say other words, expletives that Nick would have to edit out here. But
Unlike your brother, for some reason.
yeah, he dropped like 2 last episode, so good for him. I counted. So yeah, I just want to kick their butts, man. I mean, throw streamers on the field, throw whatever. I don't give a crud. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do work down there in Slugger Stadium, regardless. And I know our boys are gonna hear. We're gonna bring like 2,000 fans down there. They're gonna hear it. They're gonna get jacked up. We're gonna do work.
Right. So when the police descend upon the fans, we're gonna point you out and say he was the one with the streamer.
Arrest me. I don't care. I'll take the bullet. I don't care. I'll earn it.
Wow. Okay, then. Let's go to the King's Hammer hotline. Let's welcome in Olivia to the show. Olivia, how are you tonight?
I'm great.
What's on
Hey,
your
Olivia, I
mind?
saw you yesterday.
Yeah, how was the zoo, Brian?
Very nice. Very, very, very fun. A lot of orange and blue there.
I know. Did you see Sam and Kevin? Because they were there.
Oh, no. Didn't.
They were there.
So what's on your mind tonight, Olivia?
Well, I'm getting kind of sad because there's only one home game left, barring any playoffs. But I don't know, just like I just keep thinking, like, what if we don't? Like, I know we're gonna make the playoffs, but what if we don't get a home playoff game? And like, what do I do? What do we do?
You show up for the women's game in a week and a half and kick butt and be loud and have fun.
I'm very excited for that game.
Well, what you can do is in the playoffs, I'm sure there's going to be watch parties. You can get together with fellow FC Cincinnati fans. You could be loud there. You could be there in
I will
spirit.
be.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's plenty to get
Maybe we
behind.
can organize a bus trip to one of these away games.
Please do, but give me at least 2 weeks' notice so I can get off work.
We are Cincinnati Soccer Talk, so there are plenty of college games as well as Cincinnati Swerve coming up this winter. So we gotta check it out and have a good time. But absolutely travel, have fun, avoid hurricanes. Do your thing.
Clearly. There was something else I was going to ask, but right now I don't remember what it was. This is awkward.
So what are you gonna do special? Okay, this is the last game. Okay. What are you going to do special to make this match versus New York Rebels 2? What are you going to make this the best match ever that you've attended for FC Cincinnati?
I'm not going to
She's gonna
shut up
paint
the
up.
entire time.
I like that. That's a good answer,
God,
Olivia.
I'm not going to paint up, but I'm not going to shut up at all. Like, I'm just going to scream. I will not have a voice the next day.
That's the right answer. That's
and
the right answer.
I was struggling. I was worried. I couldn't find a wristband, but
All
I was
right.
like, wow, I made it to all these Bailey. Made it to Bailey for all these matches, and I'm not going to be there for the last one, but we're good.
Well, that's good. Well, we're looking forward to, and I want to get a full report next week on the show. All right, Olivia?
Okay, we need to give a special shout out here, though,
Okay.
to Corbin and Annie, because as far as I know, this baby's still in there,
Oh no.
and I'm pretty sure she's pretty miserable right now. So shout out to them, because there should be parents, like, literally any day now.
Good stuff. That's a great shout out, Olivia. Thanks for calling. We appreciate it.
Follow up there, Subs.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried, guys. New father over here, 6, 7 weeks, 8 weeks now coming up. Are we gonna have to worry about Corbin Bone having a slack in his presence here? I mean, it's a lot of work to be a parent.
Wow. You went there, huh?
Oh, come on, I'm having fun.
Yeah, as a father of twins, I remember vividly what that was like. Work was miserable, but he's a professional. I'm sure they will manage it, and he'll be ready to go for the playoffs. There's no question. Right, Bill?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the games are late, so if he doesn't sleep at night, then he just sleeps during the day.
Yeah.
There you go.
I like that one. Let's go back to the phones. Let's welcome in Ethan to the show. Ethan, what's up, buddy?
What's up?
How was soccer this weekend? I saw pictures on social media. You look good.
Uh-oh.
Thanks.
Is it true you're wearing your dad's old keeper jersey?
Yes, it is true.
Does it smell?
No.
Nice. Nice. What's on your mind, bud?
what is the most important game that we should win this year? That we want to win this year?
Harrisburg.
Bill just took the words out of my mouth. I mean, it's so cliche, but honestly, Ethan, they have to win Tuesday night. Every game the rest of the way out is absolutely important for these guys because they're fighting for that final playoff spot. And so for me, it's Tuesday night against Harrisburg. Bill agrees with me. What about you, Bri?
No, I agree, but I want to know Ethan's.
Yes.
So what's the most important game to you, Ethan?
Oh, sorry. Same as Harrisburg.
Good answer. I like it.
Even though I'm not going to be there.
Well, no. Well, that would be tough on a Tuesday night. I know you got to go to school Wednesday morning, right?
Yeah.
But you'll be there for the Red Bulls games next weekend, won't you?
With my whole soccer team, yep.
Nice.
Heck yeah. I saw you went to practice.
Yes, I did.
I bet that was fun.
It was.
Well, good. And I want to keep hearing full reports on the soccer career you've gotten going there down in Cincinnati, buddy. All right?
All right.
That's Ethan. Go to bed. It's past your bedtime.
No,
No, it isn't.
never.
Never. See you, Ethan. Tell your dad we said hello.
See ya.
All right, buddy.
And
All right, bye.
we have a question on social media here from Connor Paquette. Here's my question, boys. Does Kenny Walker keep the captain's armband? If not, does it go back to Barry or someone else? And going from there, who is the front runner for it in 2018?
Ooh,
That's a long question.
it's a loaded question too.
Yes, and yes. Kenny Walker absolutely keeps the armband. I want a midfielder to keep the armband. I think he's done so much for this club. He's the guy in the midfield that makes the difference. He might not be the most vocal guy, but when I look on the field, I think he's the captain, personally. I love Austin. I think he's great. You've seen my comments on social media, especially with the photos of him interacting with kids, but Kenny's the man.
I think when there's something goes on with the referee and you need the captain there to kind of listen in and ask, it's tough on Barry if it's happening up in the front, for him to run all the way up there. So I do think having a midfielder as a captain is a little more convenient and puts him in a better position to communicate with the referee.
Interesting. I never thought of it that way. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, Kenny Walker on the field has been the rock in midfield for FC Cincinnati, not just this year but last year as well. Where would this team be without Kenny Walker? I don't even want to think about that. Honestly,
preach.
And I think it started in the show too. He's played a lot of minutes this year in a lot of games. So I'm sure, and I'm absolutely sure that Coach Koch, Jeff Birding, and staff are making plans for next year to get him some help so that he's not playing every single week. Now, next year, they may not have the deep Open Cup run that they had this year, but you've got to be prepared. And so right now, they've got to get him some help. There's no question about it. But that's a great question about the armband. So good stuff. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe I saw this on social media last week, gentlemen, that the game next weekend is already another USL record breaker.
Boom.
That is impressive. They've sold more tickets than any other USL game in history. Do we know what the update is now? I haven't
heard
anything.
a new one.
So
A lot of fans.
and it's potentially the last home game of the year. So
Yeah, upper level, there's a couple hundred tickets left in the lower levels, what I see. So it's going to be a big deal. I mean, if the weather stays how it is on Saturday, especially with the rain that they're expecting all midweek, parents are going to want to take their kids out on Saturday. And it could be awesome, especially with Oktoberfest. My family is planning to go. It's Oktoberfest in the morning, Mecklenburg Gardens the afternoon, the game late evening, and then at night we're going back to Oktoberfest. So, I mean, it's going to be a fun time. I mean, it's a great weekend. I think FC Cincinnati should absolutely plan around this stuff going into the future. So, it's going to be a fun weekend.
yeah, we got to remember that though. They should schedule a game the same weekend of Oktoberfest. I agree, whether it be on a Sunday or. So Good stuff there. A couple of other notes surrounding the league. Toronto already officially eliminated from the playoffs. So there's that. Yep. The U.S. women's national team game coming up here in just a bit. And the official roster is out, and Rose Lavelle is on it, right?
Yep.
So is Kelly O'Hara. Shout out to Griffin.
And your brother, right?
And my brother.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think it's going to be a pretty cool deal. Even with, like Megan Rapinoe's on there. I mean, there's just a bunch of great names. Kristen Press. It's going to be fun. And, I'm really excited to check it out. We're hearing a bunch of news coming out of American Outlaws. I've seen what they're planning. It's going to be awesome time. So we're going to be doing some special things with Cincinnati Soccer Talk previewing that match. So check out, we're going to have a special March to Match Day. We're going to have stories surrounding the match. So keep staying tuned. Make this not just the game. Come out to events prior to it. There's going to be things coming out. We'll let you know what they are. Just stay tuned to us, and we will make sure you have the absolute best experience you can for this, historic match. So stay tuned.
All right, it's time we wrap things up here on episode 82. But before we can do that, we've got to give our Growler Cup predictions. This is for the Harrisburg match. Brian still maintaining a slim.
Yes. Slim. That's 3 points. Come on now. 4 points, right? Who cares?
It's slim. So we'll let you start. What's your prediction for Tuesday night?
I think that I don't want to predict a win because statistics say it's not in our favor. But screw it. We're going to do big things. Our guys are going to come out. I'm hearing some big changes coming out of the roster. I'm hearing it could be a little bit of a change for FC Cincinnati. So I'm going to go 2-1 win. FC Cincinnati could be 3-0, could be 2-0. Doesn't matter. Win for FC Cincinnati, 2-1 in my book.
How about you, Bill?
Well, I'm at least going to agree with the win. I'm going to say 2-0 though. I think we've struggled a little bit with the defense lately. Came out a little bit slow in the last game. I'm sure that Coach Koch has gone back and set things straight a little bit and just said, beginning of the game, everyone's got to be defending. So I'm sure we will address some of the issues that kind of caught us in the last game. Resulted in a tie, and even though we're away, everybody's treating this like the Open Cup games now, I think, and we're going to come out and 2-0 Harrisburg.
Boom.
All right. I'm going to stick with the winning side of things as well. This team, and I feel, again, I said this last week, I said it the week before, I think I said it the week before that. This team is absolutely due for a freaking clean sheet. I mean, I don't know what else they've got to do. I mean, can they just keep the other team from scoring just once, please? So I'm going for a 1-0. FC Cincinnati gets the win. And you know what? I'm going to go for a Jimmy McLaughlin special.
Woo!
Yep. I think Jimmy's going to get the goal in front of I think he's going to have some friends and family there at the game in Harrisburg. So
absolutely.
That's my prediction. Of course, it's not too late to join the Growler Cup, even though it is the end of the season. If you enter in the Growler Cup now, you're automatically entered for the 2018 season. You can do that by going over to CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com/support. All right. Final thoughts as we wrap up episode, I believe this is 82. Yep, it is 82.
Yes.
Brian Weigel, your final thoughts?
All right. Well, I'm going to do a shameless plug here. We support our players here at FC Cincinnati. So, if you have a couple bucks handy and want to go over to thenot.com and go to Andrew Wiedeman's page, January 2018, and, go maybe check out the registry. Give him a little love. He's done more than enough for our city. So I think you can all give him a little love. Send some stuff his and Kaylee's way. These guys are awesome people. As I said, him and Jimmy are one of a kind. These are guys that I wish we could keep at FC Cincinnati forever. So show them some love. Appreciate all you guys' time with Cincinnati Soccer Talk. And we'll talk to you next week.
I had a feeling you were going to bring up the knot.
My wife didn't do it, and I kind of wish she did. It's kind of cute.
Wow. Okay. Bill, did they have the not.com when you were getting married?
Ouch.
I don't think they had the internet, but no, it wasn't that long ago. It was a while ago, but no, they may have had the not, but we certainly did not. Not.
No pun intended.
No, that was intended.
Your final thoughts as we get out of here.
Oh gosh, I've already lost my final thoughts. Final thoughts. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It doesn't really matter how the season's gone up to this point. It's the last 6 games that matter. I think the team's going to show itself here at this point, where focus is on the cup now. I think it's a great time for them to get strong and start to winning games, and I'm looking forward to the postseason.
Good stuff as always, gentlemen. I appreciate you both being here on your Sunday nights. Brian, major kudos to you for getting everything organized tonight. It was a really great interview. If you liked the interview with Andrew and Jimmy, let us know. Leave us an iTunes review. CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com/iTunes is where you can do that. Of course, Tuesday nights, we won't be having our live show as usual because of the match. So make sure you watch the match and give us your feedback. Feedback at CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com. You can also hit us up on Twitter as well at Cincy Soccer Talk. That's going to do it for this episode of Cincinnati Soccer Talk. For Bill Wolf and Brian Weigel, I'm Subes, reminding you to watch your tackles, and we will catch up with you next week.